Wow, the fork easily goes through. Mm, mm, mm. Wow, this is so good. So Valentine's is just around the corner. It's actually tomorrow, and then there's me who knew there was Valentine, and I was supposed to prepare a red velvet cake and didn't. So I'm here to do the last minute recipe, and I promise you that this recipe is a banger. You just have to try out my recipe because it makes the most moist and the most delicious red velvet cake. So with me here I have my list of ingredients, and first things first, a red velvet is not just a red cake, it's a red super moist chocolate cake. So with me I have some milk, and that will be accompanied by some vinegar because I want to make some buttermilk. I have some sugar, my all-purpose flour, and the exact quantities are going to be listed in the description box. I have some salt, I have some vanilla, my vinegar, eggs, some cocoa powder, a bit of food color, some margarine, and some cooking oil. And without further ado, let's get started. So I'm going to make this recipe as simple as I can so that you can also have a chance to try it out. And I also forgot to mention that you need some bicarbonate of soda. And I'll start by mixing in my dry ingredients. And this is 1.5 cups of self-raising flour. Into it, I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of some cocoa powder, and the amount of cocoa powder actually depends on how maroon you want your cake to be. Actually, a red velvet cake is not red in color, it's more of maroon or some burgundy. So I'm also going to go in with about half a teaspoon of some bicarbonate of soda, and then for my color I'm going to go in with half a teaspoon as well of color. So this color should be enough for my cake, and that's half a teaspoon. And I'm going to mix this in. So the reason as to why I do not add my color inside my milk is because food color can be quite a nuisance. So to reduce on the amount of utensils that are going to be stained, this is my preferred method. Then I'm going to set it aside. I'm going to process my buttermilk, and if at all you do not have buttermilk, you can always use some fresh milk. Then I'll add half a teaspoon of some vinegar, and I'm just going to mix this well. Then I'm going to set it aside. Then now at this particular point, we can start our baking process, and we can start forming our batter. And you'll need about 1/4 cup of margarine and 1/4 cup of cooking oil. And the reason as to why you need both of them is because we're making a very moist cake. So I find that using oil alone will make the final product very oily, and that's not what I want. So I normally go in with half. And also, if at all you're going to use margarine alone, it's not going to give the same texture if you use half and half. Then I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of cooking oil as well. And also make sure that you're using very clean hands, because as you can see there is quite some oil left in here, and due to shapima, we do not want to leave it behind. Then we are going to blend this till everything comes in together as one. So that took about a minute, and you can see everything is well combined. So I'll go in with my sugar, and my sugar is half a cup of sugar, and I added an extra tablespoon. And then I'm going to mix this in till the mixture becomes pale in color. This will take about 5-7 minutes thereabouts. So you can see that my mixture has become very pale, and it's at this point I'm going to go in with some eggs. And I'm using 2 eggs, and I'm going to break each egg at a time. So always remember to scrape your sides and also the bottom. Add some salt. I'll add about a pinch or 1/8 of a teaspoon, and I'll also go in with a tablespoon of some vanilla. We are going to go in with the flour, and you'll need a sieve for this because cocoa powder contains huge lumps and we do not want some huge lumps into our cake. So I'm just going to do it in 3 portions and 2 portions of buttermilk. I'm going to scrape my sides one more time because, as you can notice, the walls are not well incorporated. And I'm going to add some butter, but if at all you're using a parchment paper, it's not really necessary, but the Kenyan in me, so if at all you do not have a parchment paper, use some margarine, then you dust it with some cocoa powder or some flour. Then I'm going to proceed to bake this in an oven that has been preheating at 170 degrees for exactly 40 minutes. And it's at this particular point that we're going to dig in, and as I promised you, a red velvet cake is a very moist cake, and just look at this. Wow, the fork easily goes through. Wow, this is so good. Wow. Wow, this is so good. So I decided to use the Swiss meringue buttercream, but sijaivia sana hiyo sector, so I decided not to show you because in this channel hakuna kubahatisha, and once I'm fully competent with the recipe, I'm definitely going to share it with you. In the meantime, I would recommend you check out my cinnamon, peanut and carrot cake. Make that peanut roasting, and I'm definitely sure it will slap very well with this particular cake recipe. So that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed. I also hope you learned something new. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe if you have it. I'll definitely see you in the next one. Bye.